And welcome back to this week's edition of Shark Nation. Got me here with my good buddy and friend, Jason. How's it going, my man?
Dude, welcome to season 2, episode 1
Of
of
the
the podcast.
great journey of crazy real estate agents. Two guys just trying to figure out the real estate world.
Yeah, navigating it slowly. We'll see what happens.
So I gave you a call yesterday and we played phone tag because we were doing some great things on the weekend. We didn't have a chance to have the conversation I wanted to have. So I thought, let's have that conversation here on this podcast.
Is it about the
So,
MMA fight?
how was that, by the way?
Dude, it was awesome. So, for anybody that doesn't know, was never at like a boxing event, or this is my first UFC live. Bones Jones versus Stipe. It was really cool. But there's no play-by-play. It kind of reminds you of like the old Coliseum, like gladiator days, where all you have is like the roar of the crowd. You know what I mean? There's some gamblers in there that like count down if they have bets on how many rounds these guys are going to last and stuff like that. But that's like the only thing, and it's just all you hear is the thumping of the mat and the roar of the crowd when there's some chaos going on. But it was really cool. Definitely recommend it. The crowd was Madison Square Garden, man. It's the Mecca. It was no joke.
I've never been. Yeah, I've never been.
Nah, I'd go see like figure skating at Madison Square Garden, just that kind of place.
Wow. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So it was a great weekend for you.
Yeah, and I got to take my son. He's a big UFC guy, so we had some pretty good seats, and yeah, enjoyed it, man. It was awesome.
You skipped the Tyson fight and you did the
Oh,
MMA.
Tyson's fight was like his ass. It was just nothing to see there. That fight
Mm,
was not the greatest. I love me
yeah.
some Mike. I was hoping, but yeah, you could tell pretty early on that it was just going to be for show. My thought on that was I felt bad for people that paid to be an audience for it. Besides that girl fight beforehand, the girl fight was awesome. That Serrano, she's no joke. But
Well, the one prior to that went 12 rounds. That was
that's
good
the one
too.
I'm talking about. Yeah, she's a beast. She's always on those undercards with Paul. She's really good. That was worth uh, staying up late for. But yeah, Tyson, I'm glad he didn't get destroyed, because you could tell if he wanted to, he could have probably got hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, I looked that way. Netflix was the big winner on that, even though they had a buffering issue and people say they'll leave. I was floored at the well, first of all, I mean the numbers were ridiculous, but you look at the marketing they did. I mean,
Yeah.
now I didn't even know they're having football on Christmas Day, and I found that out by coming on there.
Yep.
They had characters for their shows in the audience. They had the Squid Game stuff. They had the Cobra Kai person. Like
Yeah.
they were subliminally advertising for Netflix. Like on the, I mean, it makes sense, but it's just like I mean, when I really replayed their whole strategy back in my head, I was just like, wow. I mean, Netflix is the freaking winner here.
It was definitely a great. I knew Tyson was in trouble when he like tripped walking out to the ring. I'm like, oh boy. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
from like a
yeah,
marketing perspective, it was pure genius. Like they show clips of Tyson, he's like pounding the bags, and then like you see him in the ring, and he's like, not
yeah.
great.
That was interesting. So you called me yesterday. I was at the movie theater. I saw Smile 2. It was super scary. If anybody hasn't seen that and you like scary movies, it's good. Um, so the conversation I wanted to have is I'm really interested in collaboration with the team right now, and the first question was like, you're using Slack right now, right? For
Yep.
team chat.
Yeah.
You have the free version though, right?
Just free. Yep.
So that's 90-day chat history on there, right?
Something like that. Yep.
Okay. So don't love that. But I was just looking. So now do you have any and for those that don't know or watching, you can plug in certain apps can directly post to Slack, whether it's through Zapier or direct integration, so we have in the past, to set the stage for this, is like when a deal went under contract and Follow Up Boss, it posted in the team chat, somebody sold this house. Do you have any things running like that in your team chats right now?
So just the Google Suite ties in with it. Zoom meetings tie in with it. We use Sisu more for the automations and notifications. We don't notify the whole team when a new deal goes in, but when somebody puts a deal in through Sisu, it'll email me and email the transaction coordinator that there's a file to work on.
But first and foremost, I highly recommend you do notify every time, because like we used to automate it, but Dennis, our admin, always announces when somebody sells something, and I just think the camaraderie and like, yeah, somebody sold one, like it's been so
Yep.
good for it. That's something I'll never take away. As we always say on the board, like on the sales board, I think I think that's huge. When I implemented that, because probably 2019, like I'll never change that because it always
Yeah.
gets a
No,
lot going.
we just to be clear, we post about it in the general chats, but we just
Okay.
don't have an automation right from Sisu going
Oh,
into it.
cool. Okay. So same thing. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, okay. And we're not automated anymore either. We were, but we're not with that.
Yeah.
I'd like to be again, because I had it to the point where I customized the message. Was it where it was like, hey, agent name just got street name under contract, like I even
Yeah.
had deal type at one point where it was like just listed or like under contract. I had all the
Yeah.
automated stuff,
I keep it simple. I'm old school.
which is
Congrats, Rick,
better.
on getting your deal under contract. Bang, bang, bang. 500K. Let's go.
So, how important is the team chat to your team's collaborative environment?
At first when we started, we just had like a group, text message thread together, and it was just way too much going on. And then you get the memes and you get the stuff, and it kind of drowns out what's important. So having some kind of multi-channel thing like Slack was awesome. So we break it down for all kinds of different things. So we have a general chat. You could individually message people, and that keeps track of the history. You can create what's called channels. So we have one for our open house support, one for showing support. So if somebody says, "Hey, I need coverage for a showing or a closing, who could help out?" We have a showing support one. We have a new listing one. We have one for rental properties. We have one for kind of all different things. One for objection handling. If you got a good objection, when you're doing your cold calls or prospecting time, pump it in there, and we keep track of it that way too.
So you have that all broken out. We have in the past. We don't right now, and that's definitely something I'm seeing the need for again. But one thing, so I'll throw a curveball at it, is one. So I've had every team chat app. I've had every app. I'm the nerd of that. But I was just curious where you're at for a couple reasons. Anyway, the point, we had Discord for a while. It was free. You didn't have to pay for it. You could get all the features.
Yeah. I was not a fan of Discord because you had that for us with the
Oh, with the
SharkNATION stuff for
sharks.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
too many
Well,
apps.
what's that?
Keep it simple. Too many apps going on.
Well, if it would replace Slack, I mean, you wouldn't have Slack too, is
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
no. I'm joking around. We
Yeah.
just had too many channels going on, too many different communication things, which I think ties into your point. Just having one place to get the info is super valuable.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's a balance between the two, because I like a space for. I mean, you can go too crazy with too many channels, but having a general chat and then having an open house chat, that's really really cool. But I think one of the big reasons I like Discord though was that you could have the voice channels. So like basically, I could have our admin sitting in a voice channel, and it's voice only, and you can pop in a room and you can just ask them questions, and that's been good. I don't think it's as necessary as I thought, but I was just replaying the chat situation in my head. But I will say, well, let me ask you, I guess, how much are you using the tagging each other in Follow Up Boss?
In Follow Up Boss or in Slack?
In
Because we
Follow Up
use
Boss.
both. Yeah, in Follow Up Boss all the time. I mean, we got set up with the DCM folks, so we have a virtual admin, via calling in and helping, nurture some leads and stuff like that, and give them warm handoffs. And there's a lot of tagging going on between the handoff between the VA and the agent.
So that's one of the biggest. I mean, I think that's great. Like that helps maybe not have as many channels necessary. However, I still think there might be a need for multi channels. But the reason, like, I mean, I've had new agents come on. They're like, well, I want coaching and support. And I'm like, that's great. Here's one of the ways that we have coaching and support is, let's say you were on with, one of the leads we have in our follow up boss, and you didn't know if you handled it right, or you just had a question about it. You can literally tag me on the fly and say, hey, what is this? How you would have handled it? And I can
Hmm.
see and I can help and coach you on the fly. And then you can tag our admin and say, Dennis, I'm out today. Can you help tee up a contract or help, with my search alerts? Because, I just need to make this tweak on it and I'm out right now. And that on the fly
Yeah.
ability to tag people, or when they cover a showing and you can tag somebody in and say, hey, this is the person you're showing tomorrow, and then they can just boom, see all the timeline history and all that stuff as a
Hmm.
collaborator. I mean, follow up boss, if you're not using the tagging features on there, and I mean, it's just, but here's the game changer for us though, was when we got a lender involved on there. When we got a
Yep.
lender involved, and this is something a solo agent can do. I used to do it all the time. I mean, I made early on. I had talked with a lender of mine, and um, I don't know that I think we did a little integration on the CRM, but the main thing was we had I think, no, we pulled him into Slack. That's crazy. That was like 2015, but we pulled him into Slack actually, because I had my admin and the lender, and we had like a separate lender channel in there. But if you're a solo agent, this is obviously very team oriented. You can set up your team to the right partners that you have for better customer service and or back end service, which creates a better customer service experience if you're utilizing things like chat apps, task apps, CRM usage. I mean, it's, the sky's the limit with the number of situations, ways you can do this. But I know it's been a big game changer for us. But there is a balance of overwhelm and simplicity. Like, you've got to find the middle.
Yeah.
You don't want nothing. Like, the text thing doesn't, I agree, like we didn't do well with that. People got annoyed, they started muting it. Facebook Messenger is the same problem. But at this, so there's like that middle ground you got to find.
And I think a lot of it is separating the personal from the business, right?
Hmm.
When you have a separate platform like that, it's like, here's all business. With the personal text chat, you were getting the memes and the gifs and all, all that kind of shit. And it was like, yeah, it's funny and it's a good time or whatever, and people are joking around. But it's like, but if you have something of importance to say, it gets lost in the noise, and that's the biggest mistake that we made with just having it like that. Losing stuff in the noise, and then you're direct messaging people, and then it's like, did you get that, or how come you didn't follow up on this? And it's like, well, I put it in the group chat, and it's like, oh, that's not the best way to do it. So having some kind of professional business system for messaging and organization is key. We did that with Slack, and also with the team site. So we have an internal team site where we organized all the docs, because that was another thing. Well, where do I go to find A, B, and C? It's like, okay, well, here's all the docs are in here. Here's all the training videos are here. Basically from A to Z on the sales prices or process, and all our different programs. We have a whole website designed just for finding info when you need it.
Yeah, no, and that's been a huge game changer for us. And I asked how much, they were using our team site, or for those that are watching, we have a team hub, where we basically post all of our training videos, libraries. It's searchable links, meeting links, pawn shifts to work our leads and stuff like that. Just a central hub for the team, and that's
Yeah.
been a game changer. But I think the reason why I get so into this conversation is because I think whether you do physical, and we do. I mean, we just had a lunch and learn like a week ago or two. We've had a training at my house here. We do events, even though we don't have physical office space. We do a lot in person. But um, it's super important and capable to have a really tight knit community through all the apps and tools that are accessible, with awesome things like Discord, Slack, even Google Chat, and just all the different apps and follow up bosses capabilities. You can build and that's what I want. Like that, like I'm obsessed with, is just making sure that we have a really, really good feeling community on the team. That Because I mean, the title of the thing is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. But like, you have to give that space for them to be together. Otherwise, it's like Lone Ranger, Lone Wolf, not really getting the benefits of the community that they're involved in. So
Wait, hold on a
Um,
second. What's this Lone Ranger, Wolf? I never even heard that before. Where are we at here?
you never heard that?
No. Where's that from?
Do I need to
Am
ask
am I dating
ChatGPT how
myself?
common?
Am I dating myself?
I'm looking it up. Lone Ranger is a fictional character. Dude, come on,
Yeah,
you
I know
never
what the
heard that
Lone Ranger
expression?
is.
Huh?
I know what the Lone Ranger is. That's more
That's
of my generation. I'm like, what? I never heard that. I like it though.
oh.
I'm like Lone
You
Wolf.
make
I'm
me
like,
think like it never was a thing. Like, wait, am I making shit up? Like,
I'm the one that's bad with analogies. That's what I'm saying.
oh, I see, I see. You think that I'm
Yeah.
too young to know
Yeah.
that.
Where you at with that?
Hey, I
Yeah.
got Riz, man. Which, by the way, I found out last week that that's based off the word charisma. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I did not know
Did
that.
you know the word? Like, you got Riz? Did you know about
No,
this?
never heard it. No.
Dude, I've never felt so out of touch until last week. I was at school lunch with my I go they have Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I go once a week to have lunch with my daughters at school, and the other mom was telling me about all the words like sigma and oh god, I shouldn't even say that. Like there's all these words. I don't even. I'm like I have no idea
Creating their
what
own alphabet.
these are. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, man. Like I all
I
of a
like it.
sudden, like overnight, I'm out of
Yeah.
touch.
No, dude, it just happens. Wait, it gets worse. You're like, what? Never. Yeah.
Great.
And I got all the different age gaps. I got 20, 14, and 3. So, yeah, my mind is blown. The 14-year-old, she doesn't even talk to me yet. I got to wait till she 16 when she wants a car, then she'll start talking to me. I don't know. She just,
Ask her if she thinks you have Riz.
Riz? Yeah, I'll ask her that.
I want to know what she says.
Tomorrow when I take her to school, I'll ask her. Text me some other stuff to send to her, and I'll hit her up.
It.
Yeah, she's not a morning person, so she's grumpy. Trying to get her in a good mood. Yeah,
Dude, she's gonna look at you like you're. It's gonna be
yeah, dude, I got swag, man. She's gonna be like, "Yo, Dad is so cool."
great. Oh my gosh, that's too good. That's too good. Okay, so well, I guess to finish off that topic, like so, Slack. You love Slack. You think it's great.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't change from it. I think is it perfect? No, like I said, some of the limitations on the thing, unless you want the paid version. I'm like, my thought is, if it's over 30 days, is it still relevant? So I don't really care for keeping like a huge archive on things. So I'm fine with just the free 30-day thing. If there's something that's needed, it's a messaging app. It's for short-term communication, in my opinion, not long-term.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely like Slack a lot.
Do you have any task management system for like for or what do you use? I guess.
So for our tasks, we have Sisu. So our admin Karen, she's going through it, and from everything from a new deal that comes in, like the agents will upload all their files. They will create the transaction from follow-up boss, and then it gets hand off to the team TC that handles all the tasks. And it's like literally put everything in SkySlip. Email the next steps out to the lenders and title people. Put everybody in a group AOS email with the other agent. Title, whatever. All the next steps for the buyer or seller, right? So all that kind of communication, that's all tasks, and bing, 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 up until post-closing follow-up, and everything's all laid up there for every transaction.
What do you do with a task outside of a deal or a client? Like for like, I don't know, fix the profiles on the team website. You know what I mean?
So in Slack, if it's something like that, that's a good question, because we just went to a Sierra site and we just had some other stuff coming up. We're creating individual team agent pages for Fellow. I don't know if you didn't see that yet on your onboarding thing yet, but yeah. So you'll have individual agent pages that you could use in there for doing CMA requests and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty sweet. It's really slick. But if I need anything like that, update it right into Slack, direct message to my admin Carlos, and it's like, hey, take care of A, B, and C, or hey, we need to adjust something.
How do you track if it gets done?
So usually he'll just respond like, done, or check it out. Let me know if you want anything else changed.
Okay.
But there is gaps there, and it's not perfect for sure. Like I said, my brain's always going 100 miles per hour, so I'll be like, do this, do this, do this, do this, and it's
Oh
like,
yeah, same problem. Well, and
yeah,
transparently, that's why I had Google Chat. I had Google Chat because in the channel, basically, you can have its own tasks for that channel. It's a separate tab because Google Chat has chat, shared, so any links or pictures or files that are shared, and then tasks, and you can have that all in there. And I like it. It's good. But one thing about it is like I don't know what it is about. We don't look at the tasks enough. Like there's not a good like it's just not it's not very clear. So I'm not I'm not like running out and fixing anything. Like I just was want to call yesterday to kind of get a status of the things, and
yeah.
I thought it was a good
Well, I
time
mean,
to
you were using
chat about it.
AppFolio for a while. Are you guys done with
No,
that?
yeah, we're good. Yeah, we use that for closings, no problem. But that's not like I mean, especially Dennis and I. Like I have a ton of stuff I throw out. I'm like right now he's like prepping three things outside of closings and doing all kinds of stuff, fellow and stuff like that. And
Is that more just
um
client facing though? That's not task management based.
no, he does. I'm saying task management. Yeah, like it's
Okay.
all. Yeah, or sorry, yeah. Well, you're right. Folio is client facing. So closings and listings go in Folio, um, which I wouldn't recommend to anybody because it only works for us because we developed that Google Calendar task system. But we probably will make a move to something like Open to Close or Sisu or something like that, probably at some point in 2025.
Yeah,
Once
your spreadsheet thing gives me fucking anxiety when I'm like, it's so color coded. It's like green, yellow, red. You got shit moving on all over the fucking place. I'm like, dude,
hey, it's
what do you
closed
got going
like
on here?
700 or 800 transactions using that exact system.
Yeah,
So,
no, it works. It works.
but
I'm like, do I
it's
stop? Do I
showing
get?
its age at this point. Like especially, I really, really, really like the look of Open to Close and the syncage with Fub. But we will look at that at some point. We're not broken on the closing side. It might be in the back end, but it's not for the person using it on the back end. Dennis knows it like
Yeah,
thoroughly. So um, anyway, though, and that was the point. Was just digging in and finding out. I mean, it's the end of the year. I like to take a look at what the things are. What can we minimize? What can we elaborate on? Just like
well, it's a
just
traditionally slower time of year, so this is the time where new systems and processes. It's kind of a better time to implement things like that. You know.
and as an agent, watching this, if you're an agent watching this, I think one of the biggest things, like, I mean, I've done it since I got into business in 2014. Definitely have a little bit of a shiny object problem for sure, but at the same token, um, it's super helpful during the slower times. If you're somebody who's like all in real estate, which I always have been ever since I'm all in everything I do. I take this time where people are chilling and stuff. Like I want to look at the system so that when March comes, you never know, right? It's
Yeah.
February, March, April, May. There's always a surge though, and when that surge comes, I want that capacity to be greater every year.
Yeah.
Um, so it's definitely been worked for me in the past. I mean, this year we've got a lot to rebound from, so we probably already got the capacity, but I want the systems, still good and go through my normal regimen. But coming back to the collaborative side of it, like what what are the can't live withouts to have your team be a community?
You know what? We just every Monday. It's funny. Ryan was just on his first one today, but our Monday morning 9 o'clock pods. So just to kind of explain, we get on a Google Meet as a team. You know, I had it broken out, so now we have it all one thing for an hour. And do you know your top five most likely to transact? Do you know what their top five must-haves are? And do they qualify as a hot buyer or seller based on certain criteria that we have?
They email them before the call?
So no, it's just for them to prepare, right? And then when we're on the call, who's on the call? Okay, who's up next? And we go through them, and then we can help move the ball down the court with each one. So, and it's good for the person that is talking about their deals. It's a motivation for all the other members. So if you don't have five, here's what five looks like. Or here's a situation you could learn from what we're talking about with this client, and that might be a future client, or maybe that's somebody that you're currently working with, and how to help move the ball forward. So the pods are fire, dude. If you're not doing the Monday morning pod, 9 o'clock, I actually took out my recruiting time for the pod because it's that important.
We do ours Tuesday, Thursday. I split the team half and half, and we go Tuesday,
Don't
Thursday.
split the team, dude. That's what I did. It was terrible. So
With
if
10, so you do 10 in the pod?
all of us in the pod, dude, everybody learns together. It's really good.
Hmm.
And because some of the pods I had, maybe if there was 10, 2 or 3 in one and then 5 in the other. So the 5 would go a little bit longer on the half hour or hour or whatever than the having it all as one, and everybody learns from each other. It was awesome. Yeah,
Okay.
this morning's, man, it was great. It was fucking pumped you up to start the week. And you could also see, as the team leader, okay, what do we have going in the pipeline and all that kind of good stuff too.
No, I mean, we do the same process. Obviously, we split it up, but like,
Monday
well, we
morning,
just
nine
recently
o'clock,
split it
right
up
off
too.
the bat, bang.
We got over the. I mean, well, mine are limited to half an hour because I try not to spend too much time. So I couldn't do more than like 4 or 5 and a half hours. It'd have to be longer, which is possible.
So we did 9 to 10, and then 10 o'clock starts prospecting time. So it naturally segues into everybody jumping on and kind of arm in arm doing our prospecting time together.
It's funny how like all this stuff is like you just for anybody watching, I want you to see, like, I mean, at least from my perspective, like we set all this up, it was working well, and then you lose steam on it, and you've got to go back and revisit the structure and work on the details, and like there's things that we've gotten away from that we still have the structure for, but like we just forgot that they're important. Like,
Yeah.
like we've lost our steam going out of the meetings into the money time. Like we used to be really, really good at that. And now like people are haphazard. Some do it in the afternoon, some do it in the morning, some don't do it at all, and it's just like we used to be a really good group going in. It was a smaller group, but we used to go smaller team at the time, but we used to go into the prospecting together. And now it's like nobody's coming in. So it's you gotta revisit. It's not about um the new app or the new chat app. It's about revisiting um, what you have working for you. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, and to touch on that, like I'm always revisiting and tweaking because I think my training program, for new contracts, new hires is awesome. But then I had an agent send out an offer, and one of the parts wasn't filled out, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't think that was necessary," and I'm like, where did you not think that was, not necessary? And I'm not picking on them, but one
Sure.
thing that I want to clear up tomorrow during our Team Tuesday is putting together professional looking offers and all that kind of stuff to be that standard for when people see our name and our brand, that it is everything is on the up and up. So that is getting nipped in the bud. So I think, like, when things come up, it's just going to be, like I said, if it's not in front of everybody every single day, it's sometimes you just get forgetful, right? So I'm doing a lot more of the trainings and not trying to be the fucking, the magician on there doing this kind of act, and just getting to the basics. And we've been doing the basics with leads and prospecting and follow up and all that kind of stuff. And now it's going to be back to, okay, refocus on the contracts and this and that. And, just kind of back to the basics, because the basics win, as we know.
How do you role play?
So we have, with the DCM folks, we have 2 to 2:30, and Friday from 11:30 to 12. And then every other week we have team one-on-ones with our stuff.
hmm Okay. Yeah, because I had rolled out a script Inferno. Um, it's really, really, yeah, it's been good. Huh. Okay. So
Uh-oh, he's implementing something. The wheels are turning.
I've implemented a lot of things, but yeah, well, I'm just trying to keep the shit. I'm trying to get out of my own way is the big thing. I think that as a team leader is like you can get too into the presentation mode, and you've got it. I think it's more, I want the collaborative community mode. I want the team to be the team, not I don't want it, it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
we've learned so much from having other my voice gets tired, and I'm me and no one's me, like, and no
yeah.
one, and I'm not them, like we have different, and you pick up little nuggets. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Reside has been great, because we're plugging into people across the country and different teams and seeing how they're doing things. That's great. And different trainers, so that's huge for me because I tend to be a runaway trainer. I like to talk a
We
lot.
should we
uh,
should switch up. We should jump in, and I could train your team for one, and you could come in and do one. And it'll be a different voice and a guest speaker.
it would be good. I thought about that, and I think we've done some little bits and pieces like that in the past. But yeah, I think it's time to
Yeah.
bring it back. It's something. It's like we've done that, but we've got we get away and you just get yeah. It's this is cool. This is cool. I think this is. I don't know. I think this is cool because it's just like a conversation we would have. So okay. Um, Parting thoughts. Um, when it comes to keeping your team's community, what are you most interested? What are you most focused on in 2025?
Keeping the a-holes out, you know. And it's some people are just not a right fit, right? So I want to protect that. And anybody that we bring in, the interview process and stuff is kind of thorough. It's not taking anybody with the pulse. You know, People might think my interviews are a little bit different because just be from working with people for literally since I was like 14, I could read them pretty quick. And kind of see what kind of vibe I'm getting off them or whatever, and tell if they'll be a good fit with our culture pretty quickly. And reaffirming our team core values, teamwork, abundance mindset, family first always, a bunch of different things, living with integrity, do what you say you're going to do, right? Kind of keeping it simple with that, and bringing people into that where it's like, okay, everybody's helping people out. And the nice part is like, I went away to the UFC thing, but I take a look at the channels and people ask questions in the Slack and stuff like that. And, other agents are going to help, other ones. And that's what I want. I don't want it to be like, I don't want to tell you my secret because I sold this many houses and I don't want you to just take all my business. All that fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I mean that's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not helpful to anybody. Cool. I
What
like
about
it.
you?
Ugh. So if I had to pick, yeah, it's about one thing to focus on. I think it's the meetings, man. I just want the meetings. Like I'm obsessed. Yeah, that's it. It is. I mean, texted Sunit about it this morning. I'm super focused on, not so much like
Do you have
getting out
too
of my own.
many?
What's that?
Do you have too many meetings? Because that's a balancing act where I'm thinking like, hey, how many meetings do we have? I don't want to overwhelm them where it's like, another meeting, another meeting. I want it where it's like, okay, if you're coming in, I'm bringing the heat, bringing the value. You know what I
Because
mean?
they're short, I don't think now. I think we're three a week, and they're Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're 8:30 to 9. I do run
Take
over a
the
little bit, which I
take
got
the
to work
pulse,
on. But
dude. Take the
uh,
pulse. Take the pulse of the team. Hey, what do you think
right.
of the meetings? Too much? Because that was one of my things as we're implementing all these new systems. Took a pulse. Hey, just dropping in things because when you go out with outside vendors, sometimes they tell you, hey, we could do the training here and here, and then I'm telling people, yeah, okay, hey, we got to jump on this call, and it's kind of interrupting. So I took the pulse, and it's like, hey, we want more set time. So now we have the pods 9 to 10 Mondays, and then 10 to 11 all week long prospecting time together. Team Tuesday is 1 to 4, and then we have the role play and prospecting time. That's it. Anything else has to fit in that schedule.
We're pretty similar. It's just that we've gotten a little loose on our prospecting time, I'd say. But for me, it's also about in the meetings making sure that they're being heard and hearing others, rather than just me. Um, so that's my big focus, and just making sure I'm creating an environment of collaboration and not just me talking.
Take a pulse, send it out there. What do you guys think
Yeah,
of the team meetings? Cold, warm, hot, too much, too little, not enough. And
yeah,
see what they say. You'd be
yep,
surprised, right? Because you might think, there's a lot or not enough or whatever, and they might think like, oh, I just want to get to work. So I don't know. I think a little structure is good, but I want to, everybody's in this business for that freedom too, where I don't want to kind of tie them down.
right.
But I also want to show example too. Like, hey, look at you went on 5 showings when you should have been in your prospecting time and they were all duds. Now you didn't prospect and you waste that time. Right. So hold that time sacred.
That's the greatest challenge of all. But thanks for that. Thanks for the conversation. I think it's a good one. I hope it's good to have it publicly. Hopefully somebody can pick up a nugget or two from that. I know I wish I would have heard some of the raw debates when I got into the business. So that's what I thought. Join sharknationlive.com, get all the stuff, Facebook group, our monthly mastermind, first Sunday of every month. I got to get to an appointment. So we'll see y'all next
Hey,
week.
season 2, episode 1 was a hit. We'll see you next time.
That's it. See ya.